podcast, FeldCare Connects Podcast. And I am going to be the host of it, Neil Haley. And that's really cool because we're going to talk about all the amazing things that FeldCare does. But our first guest today, our inaugural guest, is Adi Klevit. And Adi helps build franchise systems and processes for businesses. Adi, thanks for stopping by. And I wanted to kind of go more into your background first, and then we're going to talk about how you help FeldCare.
Absolutely. Well, Neil, thank you for having me. So yes, my company, Business Success Consulting Group, we create, document, optimize, and implement processes and procedures and management systems for companies.
Oh, wow. And explain how important that is for a business. It must be so important.
It is very important because honestly, I mean, think about it, and our listeners can think about it as well. A business cannot grow, cannot scale without processes and procedures in place, without having specific management systems. They can't. It's going to be chaos, confusion, people not certain what they need to be doing, or they're not certain even if they know what their position is, what are the actions that they actually need to be doing. There can be a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion. And by putting systems in, you're creating clarity, you're bringing order in, and you are making it possible to scale and grow.
And that's so important, scaling and growing, especially if that's the goal of that business. And that's when you come in place to say, hey, this is why you're not scaling. This is why you're not growing. You don't have the systems and processes in place.
That's true. Yeah, it's true.
So tell us how you've helped FeldCare in that way.
So I've been working with FeldCare for several years now. And the way I help them is by, first of all, organizing the business. So we created an organizational chart. So everyone has a specific position. They know what to do. They know what their position is and what they're supposed to be doing on that position. So that's why the organization is working very, very efficiently, is because people know and they concentrate on what they need to be doing. We created then processes and procedures for every part of the organization. So the company is very well documented in terms of having their processes, and we constantly work on process improvement. And now that they franchise, now they're also franchisors and they have franchises, the franchisees can benefit from the same work that we have done because they don't have to reinvent the wheel. They will get all those processes and procedures and best practices, and it's hard-won knowledge, but all of that is being transferred. I mean, when you think about, let's say, a McDonald's franchise, that's the example that many like to use. The French fries are going, and not that I'm advocating one way or another, but, just an example, the French fries are going to be made the same way no matter which McDonald's you go to because they follow the same procedure. The same thing with FeldCare. The franchisees will have the knowledge and will have the best practices and the how-tos of what worked. And that is the beauty of having a franchise. But even before they franchised, that's the way the business would run. There would be processes and procedures in place. Another thing that we did is we created KPIs and metrics for every single position in the company. So then people know what they're supposed to be producing, and it's being measured as well. So that way, if there is a correction that needs to be done, it's very spot on. We know exactly what part of the organization is doing well, not doing well, and then we take specific actions in order to rectify it as needed.
Yeah, and that's so important. So let's talk about FeldCare as a business model. How did you kind of look at specifically how you're able to connect the whole business model together in FeldCare, where, what FeldCare does and stuff like that?
So it is looking at the different parts of the organization, creating the processes and procedures for those parts, and then make sure that they all align and work together towards the same product that they're working towards.
Okay. Very, very good. And that's the important thing. When you look at the business model of FeldCare, you had to really break down who do they serve, what are the responsibilities of the people with FeldCare, and what are the responsibilities of connecting them to everybody else.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
And that gives an opportunity for franchise because it's just plug and play and ready to go.
That's right. Absolutely plug and play. because you can then duplicate it. What they've done in the main office, it can be duplicated in franchises across the US.
Okay, let's talk about franchise and in a way, like a franchise, if you're looking to own a franchise, if you don't have those systems and processes in place, you basically are, the learning curve is a long learning curve, right? Explain what a franchise needs, especially if they already have some of this in place to be able to be successful.
Well, a franchise, like you mean like starting a franchise
Yeah.
or
Yeah, starting a
okay.
franchise. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you're looking at starting a franchise or starting a business, you'll have to start from scratch. You will have to do research. You'll have to figure out how to do it. It will take you years of experience to get to the point where you know what to do and the business is up and running. If you decide that you want to go into have your own business, franchise is a great model, especially if it's a good franchise, because all those systems already exist. They're being shared with you. Yes, you are going to pay the royalties and you're going to pay the franchise fee, but look what you're paying for. You're paying for all this hard-won knowledge and all this experience and all this trial and error that you don't have to go through because it's already a proven process that you're going to get access to, and then you can utilize it and use it. If you apply it correctly, then you should be able to get the business up and running in no time at all.
Because they already know how to find the right people. They already have a proven, trusted brand. That's important, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, we didn't even talk about the brand. I'm just talking internally. But the brand itself, you have the backup of that brand. So you don't have to now rebrand yourself. You have a branding, you have the colors, you have the logo, you have the website, all the recommendations of everything that worked. And then you can take that and it's immediate name recognition because people know who FeldCare is.
And when you saw FeldCare at first, when they came to you, you saw a great business model. It just needed some of those tweaking, and by putting those things in place, the systems and processes from the employees of FeldCare to the service model. And so,
yeah, because they wanted to grow, they wanted to scale, they wanted to expand, and that's exactly what they did because they did all those actions.
And without those action items, what would happen to a business?
Well, what would happen to a business? They're not going to be able to survive. They're not going to be able to scale. It's going to be confusion. It's going to be chaos. They're going to be overwhelmed, overworked. I mean, I've seen it all.
You've seen it all in your career for sure. And if somebody's ready for a franchise, what do you think they need to be able to purchase a franchise? Say, I'm ready to start a business from that franchise.
Well, they need to contact Randy, that's for sure. If they want to do FeldCare Connects, absolutely. They have to contact and find more information and figure out what is it, how they are going to take the next step in order to do that. And then everything will be taken care of because we have a system on how to onboard them, etc.
The onboarding system, the process that needs to be in place. I get it for sure. No doubt about it. And when people contact you, how do they contact you if they're interested in scaling their business?
The best way is through LinkedIn. So Adi Klevit, so ADI and KLEVIT. They can also call or text 503-662-2911, or they can look at our website, which is bizsuccesscg.com, B-I-Z, success spelled out, CG for consulting group.com. And there are a lot of resources. I have my own podcast there. I have a blog. I have a lot of free resources that they can look at and obviously contact us and book a call.
Absolutely. And then that's where it comes into play. And how do you identify if you don't have the proper systems and processes in place? What would you say?
Well, you have to look at your business as a business owner and ask yourself, do I have the freedom to do whatever I want to do? Can I delegate easily? Do I have a good onboarding process? Am I efficient? Am I losing money anyway, or do I feel like I'm doing just fine? Can I increase my bottom line? Am I overworked, or am I out of the business and the business is running smoothly? Can I exit in 5 years if I want to? Is my business sellable? Am I going to get the price that I want to get? Are there any errors made? Can we reduce the number of errors? Are things being done consistently? Now, all those questions, if you ask those questions and if you answer honestly and you see that there is room for improvement, then you need more systems or you need systems.
And it's the headaches you're dealing with as business owner, right? And you're saying, I keep trying and trying. You got to bring a consultant like yourself in to make that work, because a lot of times doing it yourself, it takes a lot more trial and error to finally figure out you need to have those things in place. It could be
Yeah.
fine. It could be financing. It could be specifically the business model and how it needs to change. And if you don't have the right business model, it's not going to be successful at all as well. Well, we appreciate it, Adi. Thanks again for stopping by, and best of luck.
Thank you, Neil.
All right, that was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the FeldCare Connects podcast, guys. Take care.